So, a fundamental question for moving on to the next relationship would be, have I grieved and grown enough not to run another loop of my parents' chemistry? So, that's an interesting kind of growth question. Um, and it's designed to have the solution and the problem integrated within it. So, it's a powerful question to ask and just to be aware of. So, grieve and groan, right? So if you don't grieve something, you're never going to evolve from it. And from an most of the time, when you look at somebody who's been entangled with a narcissist in a relationship, if you look back at the relationship with the parents, you're going to see a similar dynamic, or you're going to see even the polarities reversed, depending on the role you took as a child. So when you're talking about having subjected to narcissistic abuse as a child, you're going to be generally in the range of either scapegoat or you're going to be the kind of golden child. Um, Either one of those are not enviable as a disposition, as a starting point. The problem in this type of and how this jumps generations is you're physically dependent upon this person for X number of years, um, for your existence, right? And they will use this leverage to draw narcissistic supply or fuel from you, is what the parent will do. So not only are you subject to their emotional disorders, their mental disorders, but it's your role model default for relationships, right? It's your role model default for as you're beginning to form romantic relationships, whatever, as you go through puberty, whatever age, um, you're still under that parent's bubble influence, and that will influence your disposition. If you never break out of that chemistry, you start to recreate that until you've grieved and grown beyond it. So the golden child will mimic the narcissistic parent and recreate those dynamics. The the scapegoat will actually attract narcissists, and that's how the cycle repeats. Right. So grieving it recognizes that that's a problem, brings attention to that, and hopefully it allows you to revisit the past and restructure it to recognize the problems, to avoid them in the future. And that's what the growing part is, right? The avoidance of the future pattern, the evolution of your relationship, and the doing as much as possible to prevent chemistry from jumping one generation, a disorder from jumping one generation to another. And but you'll find that and recognize it's a loop, right, of your parents' chemistry, and that's really the kind of shocking revelation of if you recognize that you're in a narcissistic relationship, if you ask yourself what my relationship with my parents was, you're going to see similar chemistries more than likely. Every single client I've had has mimicked a parental chemistry, whether it's, and again, usually it's a scapegoat child with the narcissistic parent. So that is a fascinating dynamic. Questions are key. Questions direct the mind. And in this question, it recognizes the source of the problem, a loop of your parents' chemistry, and highlights the solution, grieved and grown. Ask that question. It's a powerful way to direct your mind. Take care.